Hi there. I wanted to share this brief video to give you an overview of what I'm going to be talking about at the HSJ Integrated Care Summit on the 19th and 20th of September in Manchester. The advisory board and myself are really excited to be sharing some of our research in one of the discussion sessions around the challenges of engaging and activating high-risk citizens and patients to really try and make sure that all of our efforts around personalised care and enabling self-management are sustainable and truly allow citizens and patients to live the best life possible. This has been a fascinating research journey for us because one of the things that we started to realise as we discussed the idea of personalised care and particularly engagement and activation of individuals in their own care was the way that we think about activation at a system level and within the healthcare industry is a little bit different to what it really means in the established literature and how it's defined in, we think, the understanding of the average citizen that we want to engage with here. For us, we can't really help but think about this in terms of trying to get patients and citizens to use the system correctly and reduce unplanned care. Yes, we absolutely want to make sure that it benefits the individuals that we're engaging in this way, but we probably don't spend as much time thinking about it from their perspective. How can we enable them to develop the knowledge and the skills and maybe most importantly, the confidence to drive behaviour change that sticks and to make sure that they follow the care plan and work with us from both a health and social care perspective to live the best life possible. We think that requires a number of different mind shifts, if you like. We need to change the way within health and social care systems that we think about this. And I wanted to highlight the 4 mind shifts that we think need to take place and that I'm going to talk a little bit about at the session in Manchester in September. First of all, and this may sound obvious to you, but it's funny how often our planning and our system development overlooks this. Non-clinical factors overwhelmingly drive how high-risk patients behave. This is a fantastic graphic that illustrates the amount of time in the life of a patient with Parkinson's disease and the minuscule part of that time spent with doctors and formal members of the care system. I think this graphic really brings home the fact that on the right-hand side, lifestyle and behaviours are really the driving forces behind health outcomes. It's not necessarily just the clinical care and the plans that we put together, but it's how we design those plans and those care pathways to actually accommodate the reality of life on the left of this slide. The second mind shift is around this notion of truly integrating clinical and non-clinical care. Now, the HSJ session in September is all about getting to a point of true integrated care systems. And that's really what this graphic is all about. The formal structures that we put in place are critical layers of the care that individual citizens and segments of citizens out in the community will receive. But there's so much more, from economic stability through to educational attainment, that we need to take into account. And so we really do need to start to think about holistic care, the whole patient, both from a personalised care perspective to understand the lives they're living, but also to make sure that we're joining our care provision together in a way that is meaningful to the third piece, and this is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to discussing with those of you who are going to join us at the HSJ Summit in September, is this idea that we do work on the assumption that all citizens start in the same place, that as we're trying to engage with them, we can build pathways that assume a certain degree of educational capability, economic capability, even just engagement emotionally with what is going on and what is happening to these individuals. That's not the case. So we do need to start to think about how we can assess where someone's coming to us from and how can we then position our conversations and the work that we want to do with them in a way that is most meaningful to them and also, quite frankly, understandable. And then the fourth piece here is this notion of graduation, if you like, that we don't need to always be in an active care management phase with every single individual that we work with to personalise care and create activation strategies, that we can graduate people so that they can truly self-manage and change the dynamic of our relationship with them. Will we walk away? No, but it might be that they can manage themselves much more effectively once we've laid the groundwork for them and our relationship becomes one of support versus one of active care. So they're the 4 mind shifts that I want us to explore. way for us to really start to understand, if you look across the top, where is this individual citizen coming to me from? How do I need to start the conversation? What is the kind of level of engagement that we're dealing with here? Then we need to really start to think about how to make it easy for us to have that conversation, what that conversation needs to consist of, how we can start to get to a point where we can co-design and partner with individual citizens and their families to deliver the best care possible. At a system level, when we're moving towards this notion of integrated care, this becomes increasingly important as more and more people are likely involved in executing, developing, measuring, sustaining the care plans that we put together in partnership with patients. And of course, those individual citizens need to feel activated and engaged as well. So they need to understand the vision. Now, I will acknowledge that this is not the most enthralling pathway that you could put in front of an individual citizen. So in our minds, it's about how do we start to illustrate these things and make them engaging? How do we help them understand the journey they're on, the things they should expect to see and encounter on that journey, and the commitments we make to delivering care? We think this example from the University of Tennessee is a brilliant way of illustrating an in-hospital journey for an individual citizen, something that we can use before they even step foot through the doors of the hospital to manage their expectations of what that journey is going to look like. And quite frankly, what both sides of the party need to agree to make sure that we can make that journey as successful, as quick and easy as possible, and let that individual get back to life. But of course, this is not just about the hospital experience. And so one of the other things I'll talk a little bit about on the day is the work we've seen Counties Manukau in New Zealand do to create this kind of citizen-centred care plan. Not a million miles away from some of the work that NHSEI has been doing in this space. But we really love a number of things about this. First of all, at the top, very clearly stating a goal that in no way, shape or form relates to clinical or social care. It's the goal for the human being that we want to engage with, the thing that will make them getting involved in self-management that much more appealing. At 3 o'clock on the centre right, the social and mental goals, the stuff that's not clinical but matters just as much, especially in an integrated care system where this care plan will become the touchstone, the blueprint for how all care and conversations are managed by every single provider that will work with Sam in this instance. And then at 9 o'clock, centre left, is the fantastic part of this that actually helps outline what Sam, as the individual citizen, will commit to doing. So this becomes a two-way street. It becomes a dialogue driving tool. It's almost a compact, if you like, that very clearly shows Sam and his family what it is that he's committed to doing to make sure that the care plan becomes truly a blueprint for partnership across an integrated care system. Again, I'm going to talk a lot more about this at the event in September. But if you're interested in anything that I've talked about today and you want to have a chat about it beforehand, my contact details are also on this slide. If nothing else, I hope this has given you a taste for what we're going to be sharing on the 19th and 20th of September at the HSJ Summit. But I also wanted to show you a couple of things that I hope will inspire and engage you as you look to inspire and engage the citizens that you're providing care for right now. Thanks so much for your time.